us a thumbs up. You going to practice your thumbs up for us? That's a yes, yay. Or practice your thumbs down. That's a no. Okay. So now we know thumbs up or thumbs down. And we are getting ready to get started for this week, which is Land of Kings and Queens. Does that not sound fun? Oh, certainly. So here we go. Let's start with our song. Everybody sing along. If you're ready for a story, come sit down. If you're ready for a story, come sit down. Let's all gather near so everyone can hear. If you're ready for a story, come sit down. Yay! Well, we are so happy to have you with us today. And I see some of you brought your stuffed friends with you as well. So we're glad to have you with us. We're kind of sad that today's the last week of our programs for summer reading. But we're going to be doing some really exciting online programs in the fall. So you'll have to keep an eye on what we're doing so you can join us then too, okay? So what we're going to be talking about today is kings and queens. And the era of kings and queens, which means the time period of kings and queens, was what was called the Middle Ages. And those were from many years ago. And then that was called the medieval period, and that was 567 years ago. Are any of you 567 years old? No, we're not even 567 years old, right? That's a way long time ago. So we are very excited to start with you and share a very fun story. And the first story we're going to get going on, and
Share my
Miss
screen.
Toby's going to share her screen. And Miss Annette is going to read us our first story.
This is a book about a king and his princess daughter and a very clever farmer. The title of the book is The King Who Wouldn't Sleep. It was written by Debbie Singleton, and it was illustrated by Holly Swain, and it was published by Anderson Press, USA. Many years ago, in a palace far across the sea, there lived a king, a queen, and of course, a beautiful princess. The princess slept in a silver bed, and the queen slept in a golden bed. And the king had no bed at all because he never slept, not a wink. The king loved his only daughter so much that he resolved to watch over her every day and every night until he could choose the perfect prince. Unfortunately, it was not easy to find a perfect prince. The king met tall princes and short princes, strong princes, weak princes, blonde princess, and bald princess, even one with an extraordinary mustache. Can you see him there in line? There with that real gray, long mustache. But in the end, he sent each one away because not one of them was quite perfect. But if you look in the background, you can see the farmer with his pitchfork watching everything that's going on. But did those princes give up and slink back to their castles? No, they certainly did not. They realized that if they could just put the king to sleep, they would be able to talk to the princess. That was their plan. So they tried everything they could think of to make the king fall asleep. But the king wasn't so easily fooled. He gave all the gifts to his servants. Then he got a bit cross when there was no one left to awake to cook his dinner, and that's because the potion that the princesses put in his food. Many princes came and many princes went, but the king never slept. Now all these comings and goings have been watched by a young farmer who worked in the fields outside the palace. One Monday morning, that very same farmer came to the palace and handed the king a basket. 10 fluffy chicks for the king, he announced. The king opened the basket and said, There's not 10 chicks, it's only one. Away with you. My guards will show you out. But the princess was playing with the little chick, wasn't she, right there? On Tuesday, the farmer returned carrying a wiggling bag. 10 long-eared rabbits for the king, he announced. The king opened the bag and said, "That's not 10 rabbits, it's only 2, you foolish farmer. Go away." But the princess was already playing with the rabbits right there. On Wednesday, the farmer returned carrying a large sack. 10 crowing cockerels for the king, he announced. The king opened the sack and said, "That's not 10 cockerels, it's only 3, and he shooed the farmer out of the palace. Go away. On Thursday, the farmer returned carrying a heavy box. 10 playful puppies for the king, he announced. The king opened the box and said, "There's not 10 puppies, it's only 4. Stop wasting my time," but the princess already has one in her arms right there. On Friday, the farmer returned pulling a wooden cart. 10 curly-tailed pigs for the king, he announced. The king looked in the cart and said, "That's not 10 pigs, it's only 5. Get out." So there's the queen and the princess watching the farmer, and look, the princess is waving at the farmer. On Saturday, the farmer returned with a whole flock of sheep who bleated and baaed and jostled the guards outside the door. 100 sheep for the king, he announced. The king looked at the farmer and said, "You can't even count to 10. You'll never count to 100. I will count the animals myself." 1, 2, 3, the king counted carefully. 15, 16, 17, 38, 39, 40. The king stifled a yawn. 64, 65, 66. Oh, the king's head started to droop. 91, 92, 93. Oh, to the amazement of everyone except the farmer, the king was fast asleep. So the king never did find the perfect prince, but he didn't mind because the princess was perfectly happy with the clever farmer. They had a huge wedding with singing and dancing and loads of delicious sandwiches and cakes, and they all slept peacefully ever after.
Yay!
Wasn't that farmer very smart?
Mm-hmm. Yes, he
He also
was.
made the princess laugh, and that's very important. It is.
Yes, indeed.
So, did you notice that the farmer couldn't even count to 100 because he got drowsy? And back in England during this medieval times, the shepherds would take the sheep out to a grazing field outside of the castle, and they would have to keep track of the sheep, so they would count the sheep, and then after they knew that they had the right number, they could relax and go to sleep. So if you say, "I can't fall asleep," somebody will say, "Well, you just count sheep." Then you do that and it relaxes you, and sometimes you drift off to sleep. So that's how that got started.
Exactly. So what a fun story that helped the king be able to sleep and the princess met her happily ever after. So that was a wonderful story. So now we're going to sing a song about royal families. Miss Toby's going to share her screen again, and Miss Olivia is going to lead us in some fun songs. She's going to show you the motions we're going to do first, and then we're going to start from there. So Miss Olivia?
Give me just 1 second. Let me open it back up. It's being weird. It won't let me minimize Zoom. Okay. Don't know what happened. Did a weird thing.
We have some technical difficulties.
Yes,
It's all
we're
right.
having a little
It happens.
today. I'm sorry.
Yep.
All right. Here we go.
Alrighty. So the motions are we have bow to me. So we're going to bow our heads.
Yes.
We go
Bow.
like this. We have wave her hand. So we're going to just wave. We're going to wave at everybody. Toby, can you scroll, please?
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Thank you. We have ride his horse.
So you move your hands like this, like you're riding a horse.
Make some fists, and we're just going to ride a horse. And then the princess is going to blow a kiss. Mwah!
Yeah.
And then the crown is going to go bling, bling, bling. Alrighty. Everyone ready?
All right, here we go.
The king of the land says, bow to me, bow to me, bow to me. The king of the land says, bow to me all day long. The queen of the land waves her hand, waves her hand, waves her hand. The queen of the land waves her hand all day long. The prince of the land rides his horse, rides his horse, rides his horse. The prince of the land rides his horse all day long. The princess of the land blows a kiss, blows a kiss, blows a kiss. The princess of the land blows a kiss all day long. The jewels of their crowns go bling, 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 bling. Bling, 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 the jewels on their crowns go bling, 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 all day long.
Yay! Now that's a song you can sing all the time on your own. It's a new version of Wheels on the Bus, right? So now we're going to have another story. Is everybody situated and ready for another story? Okay, let's get ready. Miss Toby's going to put it
I'm
up for
bringing
you.
it up. Give me 1 second.
This next book that Miss Denise is going to read to you is about a big dance and a banquet with lots of nursery rhyme and fairy tale characters attending. You'll recognize some of them because we've had some of them show up in our programs before this.
Somebody has, like, one of us seems to have some kind of wind interference. I think it might be Olivia. It kind of went over her voice in the last one.
Okay. Okay, this book is called Old King Cole, and it's told and illustrated by Isa Trapani, and it's published by Charles Bredge Publishing. So look at him all happy there, Old King Cole. Look at everybody going to the party. Old King Cole. Old King Cole was a merry old soul, and a merry old soul was he. He called for his pipe, and he called for his bowl, and he called for his fiddlers 3. Welcome all to the King Cole ball, said the king to the guests within. We'll romp and we'll dance in the royal hall. Let the tunes and the fun begin. Look at him getting ready. The fiddlers played a sweet serenade, so pleasantly soft and high. The old king smiled, he hummed and he swayed, then he slowed and he heaved a sigh. Uh-oh, look who's getting sleepy. Poor old sire was enormously tired from preparing all through the night. Now staying awake was his one desire, but his eyes soon closed up tight. Uh-oh, he's asleep. From the throne came an echoing drone, then a wheezing both hoarse and shrill. Your Highness, wake up, the crowd did moan, but the king snored louder still. Uh-oh. Everybody, look at the rooster trying to wake him up. Still wasn't working. Hopes were high when the rooster flew by. Cock-a-doodle-doo, what a scream. The guests all heard that startling cry, but the king was lost in a dream. I know we'll wake the king now, Mother Hubbard said. Bark, my pup. She turned to her dog and he barked, bow wow, but the king did not wake up. Oh, he's really asleep, isn't he? Look at that. Wee, 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 we will wake him, you'll see. Little piggies all gathered round. They squealed in the ear of his majesty, but the king never heard a sound. This I'll do, stated Little Boy Blue. I'll awaken King Cole at last. He blared his horn with a loud toodle-oo, but the king didn't hear the blast. Oh, he's really asleep now. Uh-oh. Sing, my tiny sheep, uttered Little Bo Peep. I am certain you'll wake the sire. Ba, ba, how they boomed and sounding gruff and deep, but the king out-snored the choir. Uh-oh. Look, she's bringing, look what the queen has. Look at that. Oh, he snored while the crowd paced the floor. Oh, they just couldn't understand. Then lo and behold, from the kitchen door came the queen with a tray in hand. Oh, look at those tarts. Those look yummy. The Queen of Hearts had freshly baked tarts. She announced, here's something sweet. The king took a whiff, then awoke with a start, crying, yes, I would love a treat. That woke him up, didn't it? Look at that. Look at everybody dancing and celebrating. Yay, hooray, the queen saved the day. Now the guests all whooped with glee. The fiddlers three grabbed their fiddles to play, plucking twee, twiddle, tweedle-dee-dee. Look how happy everybody is. Old King Cole was a merry old soul, full of energy after his nap. He pattered a beat with his pipe and bowl, tapping tick, tick, a tick, tick, tap. The King Cole ball was a smash after all. There were cookies and tarts and cake. They romped and danced in the royal hall, and the king stayed merrily awake. Oh my gracious. Look at that party. There's the gingerbread man, which we talked about, and all the sheep. And look in the middle, Humpty Dumpty's there. Remember, he fell off the wall last week. Oh, gracious. So, and there's actually a song called Little Old King Cole. So you can look it up online, and there's actually a tune you can learn the song to. So there are lots of fun things in that book of an old story called Old King Cole. So now we are going to talk a little bit about how powerful and rich the kings were. And Miss Annette's going to tell you some of the things that they would do for celebrations like that.
Yes, they were always having banquets with lots of unusual foods. And one of the ones that they especially liked for dessert were blackbirds in a pie. Can you see my blackbirds coming out? They were baked in a pie, but they weren't really baked as such. They would bake the lower crust and the top crust, and then just before they would serve it, they would put the birds in, and as soon as the king would cut into it, the birds would all fly away. So that was an exciting entertainment for them back in the day. But one of the most unusual foods back in medieval times for the kings was the ordinary pineapple.
Look at that pineapple. It's gorgeous.
This is a real one that I got at Walmart for $1.97, but the king had to pay $8,000 to get one of these back in the day. And one of the kings of England, Charles II, he thought that the top of a pineapple looked like a crown. So he called them king pines instead of pineapples, because he thought it looked like a crown. So with thumbs up and thumbs down, do you think this looks like a crown? Thumbs up if you do, thumbs down if you don't.
I think it does. You guys don't think it does? I think it looks like a crown. That's cool.
Our younger viewers think no, that it does not look. So we have two crafts that we're going to show you, and we'll share pictures of it with
Yes.
you. This I made with my handprints, two handprints right here, and I just cut out a yellow shape, and I just used marking to do that. And then there's another picture right on the left that shows how you make it. And we're also going to be sharing with you how to make a crown. It starts out with a white paper plate that's marked like this, and then you cut it and you color it, and this crown will fit on your head. So those are the things that we have to share with you craft-wise.
All the different ways you can decorate a crown. Isn't that fun?
It is. I had fun doing mine. So we shared some of the silly foods that they had on their tables. They would also roast whole pigs and put an apple in, and they would eat that. That was a big centerpiece for them also. But we didn't think you would like that roasted pig and the blackbirds in a pie. So we have a recipe that is going to be on that we can link to you about making a very cool summer punch out of orange juice and pineapple juice. And one of the recipes even has ice cream in it. So you might want to share that with your whole families.
Give me 1 second. I don't know that you guys could see that. I thought I was sharing it, but then it didn't look like I was. So this is our orange juice recipe.
Yes. So you can
Pretty delicious.
You can put berries in it and an orange slice on it if you would like. And it makes a punch for a lot of people. So if you're having a birthday celebration, or you just want to celebrate summer, whatever, if you want to celebrate it being cool instead of hot, this is a recipe you can share with your family.
Right. So we have so enjoyed having you with us today. Today was our program about the land of kings and queens, and that just so happens to be our secret code. So Miss Toby's going to put that in the chat box.
Yes, I am. Did we want to share a dance with them?
Oh, yes. Go ahead and put the secret code.
I'll put the secret code
Sorry,
in.
I forgot
It's okay. Sorry, it's just land of, this one's a long one, kings and queens. So check the chat there, but it's just land of kings and queens in all capital letters. So tell your parents, land of kings and queens in all capital letters.
Yes. So now Miss Toby's going to share her screen.
Yes.
And we're going to show you a dance that people used to do at some of those parties where they eat all those beautiful pineapples and just have all kinds of fun with roasted pigs and just big parties like King Cole had.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Let me share my computer's sound. 1 second.
So you can see that it's an easy dance because see all the children that are dancing with them, and these people are in. This is what people wore in the day. See the hats on the man there, and he has on his leather boots and the long dresses with the veils that they wore at that time.
Mm-hmm. Yay!
Yay.
So there you go. So you can see some of the fun things people used to do for dances back in that time. So, but we're going to finish our program today with our song that we always sing when we all get together and finish a story time. So is everybody ready to sing along with us? Okay, so if we want to turn everybody's mics on, here we go. The more we read together, 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 the more we read together, the happier we'll be. For your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we read together, the happier we'll be. Yay! So we are so excited. Meow Meow's been sitting here listening to stories too. So she is so excited and is so happy everybody came to have story time with us today. So what we're going to finish up doing is the very last thing we do at our programs, which is the library cheer. So is everybody ready to count along with us and do the library cheer?
You want to do it too?
Yeah. Okay, we're going to count together. Here we go. 1,